Okay, and welcome to our final lesson in Chapter 7. We have one final objective to look at. We will be able to use Heron's formula to calculate the area of any triangle. We are in section 7.4 in our textbook, the final section that we will be studying from this chapter. We're talking about areas of triangle, and I know that you know the simple area for a triangle formula. That's half times base times height. This is a pretty limited formula, though, because we would need the base and the height, and unless we're talking about a right triangle, the base and the height will not be two sides of the triangle. Any other triangle that we're talking about, we would need to somehow calculate the height because it's not one of the sides. So Hero came along. I know his name looks like it's spelled Heron or pronounced Heron, but his name is pronounced Hero. Hero's formula is the square root of s times s minus a times s minus b times s minus c, where a, b, and c are the sides of your triangle, and s is 1/2 of the sum of these three sides. This was a very controversial formula when he first discovered it, but it's a very helpful formula because we only need the three sides of a triangle and we can calculate the area. What was controversial about it is back in those days, everybody considered area to be two quantities multiplied together. And they said in your formula you have four quantities multiplied together, and that can't make sense. But you can clearly see that he's taking the square root of those quantities multiplied together. So that will make sense for area. So he proved it to them and they said, wow, you really are a hero. Okay, so let's go ahead and use this to calculate the area of this triangle. I've put units on one of the sides so that we know that we're talking about miles. So we've got the three side lengths. The first thing we should probably find is S. S is going to be 1/2 the three sides added up, 4 plus 5 plus 7. So that's 1/2 of 16. So that's 8. So we know S is equal to 8. Great. So we can go right into our formula. The area is going to be the square root of 8 times 8 minus, it doesn't really matter the order of the sides, so I'll just go in order of smallest to greatest. 8 minus 4, 8 minus 5, 8 minus 7. That's the area formula. Hero's formula. Let's see if we can do this. 8 times 4 times 3 times 1. So this is the square root of, this is 32 times 3 is 96. The square root of 96. Now I could simplify this if I want to continue to use an equal sign. 16 goes in there 6 times. So the area could be equal to 4 square roots of 6 square miles. Or if I want to approximate it, which is absolutely fine if you don't want to deal with the radicals, the area would be 9.798 square miles. So there's the area of this triangle. Our second and final example, we're only given two sides, but at least we have an angle. Since this is an obtuse angle, I know that this is not going to be a right triangle. So to find the missing side, which I know is side A, I'm going to have to use law of cosines. I cannot use Pythagorean theorem. So let's go and figure out side A. I know that A squared is equal to B squared, which is 3 squared, plus C squared, which is 2 squared, minus 2 times 3 times 2 again, times the cosine of the 95-degree angle, angle A. There's my law of cosines, and let's figure this out. I can just take the square roots right now. A is going to be equal to the square root of, well, all that stuff. I don't need to do that again. Let's just go straight into approximate. The square root of all of that in your calculator is 3.748. 3.748. Maybe I put the little feet symbol so I don't forget that. And I'm definitely going to store this in on my calculator. I would store this in for alpha A. I'm not going to circle it because that's not really our answer, but we're going to need that later on. Now that we have A, we have all three sides, let's go figure out what S is. S is going to be 1/2 the sum of these three sides, 2 plus 3 plus 3.748. Dot, dot, dot. I'm using the exact. When I plug that into the calculator, I'm going to use an approximate for S. S is 4.374. Perhaps we store this in the calculator, and we can store this in for letter S on our calculator. Okay, now that we have all three sides and that we have S, we can go right into our area formula. So the area formula is going to be S, and I would do alpha S, times S minus alpha A, times S minus 2, times S minus 3. So I'm using the alpha S button and the alpha A button, plugging all of this into the calculator, taking the square root, and finally my area will be 2.989. And I know that I'm dealing with feet because I've got my little feet symbol, so I could say square feet, or I could say feet squared. Either one of those symbols is fine, but please make sure you put units when units are given to you in the problem. That's it. Simple little tutorial, short tutorial. We'll see you in class. We will practice a little bit of this, and then we will have our review. See ya.